Hello and welcome to another fun and exciting point of sale related video. Purpose of this video is to highlight some of the differences and similarities between the Microsoft Dynamics RMS point of sale software and the Cloud Retailer point of sale software. This video is not designed as formal training or to replace an in-depth demo. However, we'll hit some of the highlights and a quick reminder that Cloud Retailer is designed as a potential replacement program for RMS, meaning that you get to keep some of your existing data, including some of the customer purchase history, and there are some lovely upfront discounts to help offset the cost of a new POS system. So RMS, when it comes to running a transaction, pretty straightforward. We scan, we attach a customer if we do that, customer tracking, and we tender the sale. Very straightforward, very easy. Again, some of this may look different depending on your particular environment, but trying to keep it simple for comparison's sake. If we hop over to Cloud Retailer, and do keep in mind that the POS part of Cloud Retailer is Windows-based, so you do get that speed of having your data there. First thing that pops up is this age verification. Cloud Retailer has an awesome age verification feature function. However, that's not needed for your type of retail store. That feature function can be turned off, and it won't even show. I'm going to go ahead and override it. Just to show comparison with RMS, we do the same thing. We scan the item, and then if we want to attach a customer, we will notice right away there is one key difference here, and that is, unlike RMS where we have to decide whether we're searching by first name, last name, phone number, we can just kind of do like a Google search, and it doesn't even have to be complete. It can just be part of a name. And Cloud Retailer will find all the matches. And we can hit subtotal to get to our tender screen. Now, a couple things. We'll go back to the POS screen. You see all these buttons here. These are called task pads. And these are all programmed according to what type of business you have and what your specific needs might be. For example, a pet store may have bulk pet food. Liquor store may have one of these be a bag of ice. Landscape or nursery might have buttons here for mulch or landscaping, rock, bark, etc. So these are all programmed according to what you need. The other thing is, if you're a bit of a techie person, we can actually train you on how to configure and maintain these task pads. So that is very cool. Now let's focus on some of the manager differences. So in RMS for employee security, you're probably used to doing the security mode, which has a great deal of detail. However, you can also get yourself locked out. So probably the more common is you are setting your security settings based on each employee by going in and going through these checkboxes. So Cloud Retailer is a little more like the checkboxes, and we'll actually hop over to the manager part of Cloud Retailer. So now this part of Cloud Retailer is cloud-based. So any device with a browser. I particularly use a Surface Pro because it's kind of part tablet, part laptop. Good combination of both. So if we go into our admin and our employee security settings, what you're going to notice now is we've switched from settings for each employee to role-based security, meaning what position that employee has is what dictates what they can and can't do within the software. And I think this is a much easier way of doing things rather than on an employee by employee basis. You just create these roles. And so we could have, store manager head cashier, cashier, trainee, etc. And that is what will dictate the security settings for that employee. Makes it a lot quicker, too, when you're setting up a new employee to just select the role. And as you can see, there is an extensive list of options here. So that's very cool and very complete. I think that's definitely a nice improvement over how it's done in RMS. All right, let's take a look and compare customers and item fields. So let's first go to customers in RMS. We'll pick one, and you are probably used to the different tabs with the different information for each customer. Hop back over to Cloud Retailer. And as we look at our customers, we will pick one here and edit, and you will see it's very similar to RMS, just instead of tabs, it's laid out. A couple of things that are a little different at this point with Cloud Retailer. One is at the bottom here. While we do have the ability to assign a line of credit, it is more along the lines of a house account versus where Microsoft, you can set up a true accounts receivable. Now that will be changing in Cloud Retailer over the short term here, where you will be able to pay by invoice and assign finance charges. The other thing we don't have in Cloud Retailer is those custom fields that RMS has, where you can, I think the example is like pet names and anniversary dates and things like that, where you can track some additional criteria about each customer. That is not in Cloud Retailer. But all the other stuff that you're used to is there, including, the pricing levels, things like that. Now let's go back over to RMS and close that, and take a look at our inventory items. And we'll just pick one out here. And again, you're probably used to the tabs for the different parts of each inventory item. When we go over to Cloud Retailer and we go to our products, and I'm just going to use the catalog, but we could also do a search and try to pick a product. Let's take a look at this vodka here. Notice a couple of things. Right away when I start looking at an item towards the bottom of the screen, there is some awesome sales data, pricing data, cost data, and I can even narrow it down by location if I'm multi-location. That's one cool thing about Cloud Retailer is it is a multi-location program, unlike RMS where you have to buy that HQ or headquarters module. As we edit this particular item, you'll get a feel that basically a lot of what RMS offers is listed out here, including you pick up a subcategory. So we've got 3 levels, and very easy to deal with our pricing, even when we're dealing with multiple locations. So much easier than pushing out worksheets in RMS HQ. And some data. Now, one thing you'll notice, unlike RMS, you cannot directly enter the cost for an item. Cloud Retailer uses the first in, first out method of tracking cost. So your cost is created and tracked based on your purchase orders. So that's a little different from RMS. Actually, that's a lot different from RMS. And I would say for those of you who are not using your point of sale system for purchasing and receiving, there is a way to create a fake purchase order to populate the item cost within Cloud Retailer. As we scroll down here, we've got some various options, some details about our suppliers, and some more historical data as far as sales and things like that. So that is different in some ways. I think Cloud Retailer does a better job than RMS of showing everything on one screen, but again, it's different. So now let's take a look at reporting. RMS. You are probably used to going into reports and figuring out which report you want to run, taking care of your criteria, and then running the report. And you get your data, and there's some drill down capabilities, export capabilities, things like that. If we go over to our reporting in Cloud Retailer, and one thing I really didn't cover in Cloud Retailer yet is you'll notice there is this box. So if we're not sure on any of these screens what we're looking for, or we want to narrow it down, we can just start typing in. And we will get a nice reduced list. And it doesn't have to be reports. It can be, other things that you're looking for within these parts of Cloud Retailer. So again, we've got the criteria that we can set. And we get our report. Now, we have some nice exporting capabilities, printing capabilities, things like that. We can do different sorting. We can also add or remove additional columns. You can see there's some additional options here. And this is all kind of done on the fly. So that is very cool. I think the reporting is definitely a nice enhancement in Cloud Retailer. I think RMS users adapt well. The only thing I will add as a side note, if you have a lot of custom reports in RMS, those will likely need to be recreated in Cloud Retailer. And also, just like with those task pads, if you are a tech person and would like to create your own custom reports, we can train you on how to do that, which is very cool for those of you who have IT folks or techie folks. You don't have to request a custom report or report change every time. It's something that you can be trained on. Okay, so the final area I wanted to cover was purchasing. The differences in purchasing as well as the difference in item cost between RMS and Cloud Retailer are probably the two biggest areas where customers have needed some additional training and guidance. I can't cover it all in a brief video, but we'll try to at least give you a feel for the differences. So RMS, when we're doing our purchasing, we're used to going to our purchase order screen in RMS Manager and then selecting our options, based if it's a blank purchase order, based on reorder information, narrowing it down to departments, categories, suppliers, etc. And then creating our purchase order, sending it out, and then receiving it and committing it. Cloud Retailer, if we go into our tools, we do have the option, if we wanted to do a purchase order manually, we can go ahead and do that, where we're just picking a supplier and then going through and adding the items. Now, when it comes to doing these purchase orders based on reorder points, sales history, things like that, let's go back to our tools. And then we have what's called supplier purchase planning. So this is more similar to that first screen that we see in RMS when we go to do purchase orders, where now we can pick our suppliers and we can pick our items or set a filter, set criteria for doing the purchasing. And then when we go to calculate our quantity to order, we get some options on reorder points or past sales, and then this will create the purchase orders. So this is a little different. Takes some getting used to for folks who are on RMS. The end result is essentially the same. It's just how you get there is a little different. And I think in the end with Cloud Retailer, what we've discovered is, yeah, there are areas where it is a different process. However, generally that process is improved or over RMS, or it's just an alternate way of doing things, and it still gets you to your destination in the end. All right, that will cover everything for this particular video. There will be, of course, detailed contact information in the video description. A good next step is to schedule a more in-depth demo than what you've just seen in this video. And then if there is interest after that, there is the ability to have a free trial of Cloud Retailer, so you can take it for a test drive. Thanks for watching.